Hello and welcome back to another video. If you're new to this series, let me tell you how it works. I listen to albums throughout the week, some new ones, some older ones. I pick ones on to give my opinion on and review them in this video. Remember, my opinion is mine and mine only, so don't take anything I have to say too seriously. And let's head on to the first album of today's video. Oh, I misread my intro. It's the same intro I use for every video and I misread it. Oh, this episode's already not fun. The first album of today's video will be Father of Four by Offset. This was a great album, it had very good production, and I am very surprised by how much I enjoyed this album and the rest of Offset's albums. Cause spoiler, I listened to all of his albums today. Not today, this week. Except for one, his very first album I heard, because there's a time period where I was listening to all of Metro Boomin's albums, and Offset's first album is with Metro Boomin, so I heard that album when I listened to all of Metro Boomin. Point aside, from Father of Four forward, they're all in this video. They're all great albums. But for this album, it was very good production, very good songs, very good beat, and there are four standout songs in this album for me. They are Tats on My Face, North Star, After Dark, Legacy. And for me, Legacy was the absolute best song of this album. I don't know how to explain it. It just made me feel legendary. Right, this album was fire, I'm not gonna lie. Also, this is the first video in a long time that's not F1 gameplay in the background. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Next, also by Offset, is Next, also by Offset, is Set It Off. And oh my god, this album was so amazing. I don't thought the time flew by when I was listening to this album. It sounds like I'm exaggerating to you, but I'm not. Literally, all I wrote down in my notebook for my notes about this album was peak. And I enjoyed this album so much. And if you've never heard this album, please do yourself the favor and go listen to this album. This album was 100% worth it. It is a little bit long. I want to say like an hour, but let me just look at my notebook. Yeah, it is literally exactly 1 hour. So it is a little bit long, but at least for myself, I felt the time fly by a lot. I enjoyed this album a lot, and there were multiple standout songs for me in this album. They are "Say My Grace," "Worth It," "Broad Day," "Night Vision," "Fine as Can Be," "Princess Cut," and "Blame It on Set." Yes, I really did like this album a lot, and you should really go listen to this album if you for some reason haven't so already. Next, and the final Offset album is Kiari. I don't know how to say that. My fault. And once again, this was another great album. I low-key regret not listening to this album the night it dropped, as this album was amazing, and it for sure would have been worth it staying up late listening to this album, as this album is a little bit on the longer side, that it being 52 minutes. I didn't realize how fast time went by until I finished the album, because I think if I remember at the time of when not recording, this is off script. If I remember at the time I was listening to this album, I think it was like 12, maybe 11, and then I finished like around 1 in the morning. So I didn't realize how fast time went by. And yeah, once again, just like the previous two albums, it had many great songs, many great production. This is another album that I recommend you listen to if you haven't so already. I know online many people don't like these albums for some reason. I don't know why. And yeah, and here are my standout songs from this album. They are Back in Our Mode? I think that's supposed to say that. So I'm gonna assume that's what it says. Back in That Mode, Bodies featuring J.I.D., Run It Up, Folgers, Love You Down, and Favorite Girl. Next is Thank You Happy Birthday by Cage Elephant. This album had many great songs like Sell Yourself, and many songs had great beats to where I was going crazy with my head along with the beats as they were going nice. It also had calm songs like Rubber Ball. From this album, even though it was good, no songs really stood out to me where I'd say they're my favorite and add them to some of my playlist. Yes, I did mention two songs, but they're not songs that I'd go out of my way to listen to again. But if they were something to appear on I don't know, Apple Music's recommended, I wouldn't mind listening to them again as they were great songs and this was a great album. Next is an album I heard on night of release, and it's Cosa, Nuestra, Capitulo by Rauw Alejandro. And this was an amazing album. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a very great album. This album is at the average length for albums. That's just 44 minutes. And I felt time fly by. Obviously, I heard it like the moment it dropped. I did stay up very late listening to this album. But it was 100% worth it. And yes, I do plan to come back next week with a more deeper-ish review. Um, Something I got asked by one of my friends on why I should do deeper-ish reviews for new drops and not for uh, and not just do a full review is for two reasons. One, most of the time they don't have the lyrics ready, so I can't be looking at the lyrics to see what they say. And two, I don't want to be there waiting so long, like having to pause the song, write down what I think about it, and then continue. And then like I open up social media while listening to the album by accident and get spoiled. Like like whenever I go into these albums, most of the time I'm already like a minute, 2, 3, 4 minutes behind because I'm having to write it down. So that's why I always do like the deep race reviews the following week because then that way I can listen to this on night of release, not stay up super duper late, and then I get to give my initial thoughts on it for you guys, and then come back the following week. And and there is something special about this one. One of my friends also did listen to this album, and his name, because I asked them what they want to be named. I don't. I will never say their personal name without them telling me. This is his name. He told me to say this. His name is Big Zaddy Eric, and this is what he told me about the album. It's probably his best. Miss fucking Reddit. It's probably his best new sounding mixed album I've heard so far. That's what you have to say about it. And speaking about these albums, I did listen to "Am I Drama" by Cardi B. If you guys remember last week, remember how like hyped I was about it and excited, like, oh my gosh, this album was amazing. I low-key enjoyed it. The time flew by. Going into the deeper-ish review, this is why I do them. This is the second week this happened. Last week it was with Bleach by 21 Pilots, but here's the thing with Bleach. The first time around, I didn't like it. Um, it's the same thing for this album. Yeah, there were some good songs, but I didn't really enjoy this album going into it the second time around, because this time it did have the lyrics for all of the songs and not just a couple of them. And looking at the lyrics, um, yeah, I didn't really enjoy this album the second time around. I didn't want to put it into honorable mentions because that's like 2 weeks in a row where it happened, and technically still is 2 weeks in a row. So I'm hoping with next, I know with Rauw this isn't gonna happen, right? But there is another album that I did listen on not a release where it probably will happen, making it 3 weeks in a row. But yeah, "Am I Drama" by Cardi B. I may have been a little too excited about it last week. Maybe it was me staying up late listening to the album making me go insane. It's an below average album in my opinion. Oh my gosh, I regret how happy I was about this album last week. Next is Meliphobia by Cage the Elephant. This week I listened to so many amazing albums, and this falls into this category. Um, Unlike "Am I Drama" by Cardi B, I regret being super hyped about that one. This was a good album, and it had many, many, many great songs. This is another album I'd recommend everyone to go listen to. My standout songs from this album are "Telescope," "Take It or Leave It," and "Black Widow." Next, also by Cage the Elephant, is Tell Me I'm Pretty. This was a good album and it had many good songs on it. Bro, I need to stop putting the exact same words over each other on sentences because this is how I always get lost. I don't feel like re-recording this part. Next, also by Cage the Elephant, is what the fuck's going on in the background? Oh my gosh, this is a filler. Next, also by Cage the Elephant, is Tell Me I'm Pretty. This was a good album, and it had many good songs. This album also had many good beats, and I'm super excited to see what awaits me and the last two albums that I have for them to listen to. My standout songs are Sweetie Little Jean, Code, Code. What the hell? Forget the script for this album. This album was very good. It was a very fun album to listen to. And one thing I do want to say, fuck, bro. Dude, I completely messed up the script on this. I don't know why the script is like this. I've never messed up this bad on writing. Usually it's me speaking where I mess up, but it's like if I'm looking at this writing and I don't know what the fuck I was typing out. Hold up. Tell Me I'm Pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to read it off from what I wrote in my book. Tell Me I'm Pretty by KG Elephant. You already know. I said it's a good album, had many good songs and many good beats. The production was great on this album. My standout songs for this are Sweetie Little Jean and Code Code Code. But I do want to give a mention to Portuguese Knife Fight, as this song was also very good, but not really a standout song for me, just because I feel like it's something I wouldn't listen to, like what's it called, on my own will, but the other two I definitely would. This is a great album, and it is on the shorter side of albums at only 38 minutes. And yeah, that's what I should have wrote in the script, not whatever the hell I wrote on the doc. Next is another album I've heard on the day it was released, and it's SCUTI by Young Thug. I think that's how you say it. I do plan to give this album a deeper review next week, but my initial thoughts on this album right now are just that it's mid. Maybe it's because I haven't listened to any of Young Thug's previous projects. I do plan to get to them at some point, but at the moment, this just wasn't. It didn't really stand out much to me. I see where people may like this album, but for at least in my opinion, I didn't really like this album a lot. And this is the one that I was telling y'all about that maybe might make it the third week in a row where an album I promise y'all deeper review ends up on honorable mentions, because just I did. This one is kind of like Breach by 21 Pilots. I had hype going into it because of the features that were in it, but then listening to it, it felt like a letdown, right? But yeah, hopefully next week it'll be a deeper review. But if not, it'll probably just end up on the honorable mentions like Bleach and MI Drama did. And the last album of today's episode by Casey Elephant is Social Cues. I must stay short with this album. It was another good album by him, and it also had a lot more calmer songs, calmer beat songs, which is always nice to hear. I'm happy I found these guys, and because their music has been amazing, and I can't wait to see what holds in the future for their future projects. I'm very happy about these guys. I'm very happy I found out about these guys. Going into these guys originally, I didn't have the highest of hopes because Apple Music put their category as alternative, and I'm not really into alternative music as much anymore. But I did enjoy these guys' music a lot, and I can't wait to see what their future projects hold. These guys are an amazing band, is what I think they are. And if you haven't listened to any of their projects, you really should. I really think it's 100% worth your time to go and to listen to every single one of their albums like I did. They only have 6 albums. Yeah, they only have 6 albums, so it's not something that should take you that long. I managed to listen to their entire album discography in like 2 weeks, mainly because I do listen to a lot of other artists. But if you only focus on them, you'll probably finish in like 2 or 3 days. I say it's 100% worth your time. Then this leads to a new segment that I plan to include in every episode moving forward called My Standout Album or Albums of the Week. Pretty much, I plan to pick 1 or 2 albums that stood out to me the most this week. And the first ever album that will receive this special mention, this special award if you want it, is Set It Off by Offset. I really enjoyed this album. This was the best album I heard this entire week. I really did enjoy it. This week alone, I did listen to a lot of great albums. There were some albums that I did listen to this week, but outside of those very few, I did listen to 15 albums this week. That is way more than my goal. My goal is 10, and I listened to 15. So that's why this video is a lot longer than my videos normally aim for. And the second album to receive this award is Meliphobia by KG Elephant. As when I was going into this album, I was very excited. I also saw stuff online about this album, and I feel like it lived up to everything I saw online. Once again, I'm very happy I found out about KG Elephant because these guys are amazing. I can't wait for their future projects. I already bought my MacBook, my original what I was saving up for. So right now, moving forward, I am allowing myself to buy vinyls, but I am limiting myself to buy vinyls to only buy a certain amount. I'm not gonna go crazy on buying vinyls, but I am very happy that going forward, if they do release, oh my god, you buy the Tame Impala album. Now that I'm thinking about it, but now going forward, I can't wait to see what these guys release. because their last album, Neon Pills, it was neutral for me, so it did end up on the honorable mentions, but we'll get to that later. And yeah, those are the first two like standout albums of the week. This will only be limited to 2 albums per week. Some weeks it may only be 1 album. Some weeks like this week will be 2 albums. Never more than 3. Never ever. Maybe honorable mentions for standout album, but never more than 2. And bam, that's it. 15 minutes. I'm recording this Saturday night. It should be up like maybe like 11:30 Saturday night EST, of course. This is perfect because as y'all know, I extended my upload window from Saturdays to Monday. I was able to do that. Like I said, I listened to 15 albums. My goal is 10. The video is very lengthwise. I like to aim between 10 to 20 minutes. This falls perfectly into that category. Many great albums were heard this week. And yeah, that's it. Here, oh wait, the honorable mentions, dumbass. So the honorable mentions this week are Fly on the Wall by AC/DC, Yacht Rock 2 by The Alchemist, Lamb Over Rice by Action Bronson and The Alchemist, Blow Up Your Video by AC/DC, and Neon Pill by Cage the Elephant. They were all great albums, and since I'm writing stuff on a book, I can tell you what songs I liked off these albums. For Fly Off the Wall by AC/DC, no song stood out to me. For Yacht Rock 2 by The Alchemist, one thing I have to say is on both shoes, Gangrene, I think is how you say his name, he had amazing flow on that album. And Willie the Kid on Stugatz also had very good flow on that album. Lamb Over Rice by Action Bronson and The Alchemist. I will say, Bronson did have very good flow on the song 7. Blow Up Your Radio by AC/DC. There was one standout song for me here, and the song's name is That's the Way I Wanna Rock. And then what's the other one? Neon Pills. Oh, so that's at the very end of this. There was 2 standout songs for me: Good Time and Hi-Fi. The reason for Neon Pill, it's not that I didn't like many of the songs or anything. It's just, well, actually, I just felt neutral about most of the songs, and it ended up being the perfect 6-6. Like 6 songs I was able to give a review for. 6 songs I felt neutral, no opinion, no hatred, no liking this song. So that's why this album fell into honorable mentions. But don't let that distract you. Cage the Elephant, these guys are amazing. Go listen to them. I can't wait to see what else awaits me. And that's it for this video. I have nothing else to tell you guys. There is no new updates. There's nothing going on. Everything's going well in my life. Oh, I start school next week, so this is where the safety net's really gonna come into play, because I'm gonna have to figure out how to balance everything, right? But that shouldn't slow down uploads at all, because that's the reason I gave myself the safety net, so I can always reach at least 10 albums per week. And I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, work hasn't been that much of a struggle as I thought it was going to be, because yes, even though I am working a lot more hours, I'm still surprisingly able to, record, listen to a lot of these albums. And obviously having my laptop now, it's a lot more easier for me to write down my script, and a lot more easier for me to check up on the artists I've completed in the past to see if they're releasing new albums, and to be to keep up with the albums coming out in the future, so then that way I can listen to more new albums and use over thumbnail, yada yada yada. I'm trying to think, anything else? No, not really. There's not much else for me to say. Um, oh, my socials. I should probably say these. Go follow my YouTube description, copy and paste. Go follow my Twitch at twitch.tv/TrainDavid. I'm live there pretty much every day. This week I only missed on 2 days of not going live, but other than that, I'm live pretty much every single day. Go follow my Instagram page, TrainDavid, and go follow my music board as well, also TrainDavid. What's music board, you may ask? It's to review albums. That's usually where you can have an idea of what albums I'm going to review that week, as I usually review the albums immediately after or right before I upload a video, so in that way you can see, what I'm going to be talking about in a video, and then maybe you can reply to that before I upload the video and try to change my mind about the album. I should still have Pro on. Yes, my account does have pro on. So yeah, you'll be able to see I had the pro thing on, so I do have the little check mark next to my name. Go follow me on there. All of these three platforms are linked in the description, so you'll be able to find me very easily. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Um, no, that's generally it. This video is on a longer side, so if you did watch to the end, thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe. I never asked for this because I'm a dummy. And yeah, until I see you in the next video, just like always, like I said since the very beginning of the series, please go ahead and practice your running, man. Oh, um, I know no one cares. I deleted Fortnite. The game's in a very bad state. I've been playing Fortnite pretty much my entire, like, I don't want to say childhood, 'cause that sounds sad, but since I was the age of 12, I turned 19 in 2 months. Actually, 1 month, because it's almost October. Um, but Ghost, and I've never deleted the game once on purpose. Usually, it's either I have to delete it because like the game's being bugged, you have to delete and reinstall, or I just have to reset my entire console, right? But this was the first time where I needed more storage on my PlayStation. I was looking at the games I had downloaded, and there's one standing out because I haven't played in a long time. That was Fortnite. A great game gone to hell, huh? Damn, they need to fix that game. The entire Running Man thing is also from Fortnite, now that I think about it, because that's the only reason I say, because every time I think of Running Man, I think of the Fortnite emote. But yeah, no, for real, this is the actual end. Like always, practice your Running Man, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.